everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents here on Amazon Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Also, want to welcome those tuning in on Facebook, on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. We're kind of everywhere today because we have a very special guest that's joining us today. Hello to you, Earl, who's joining us on Facebook. So you can see the Facebook is working. That's a thumbs up for that. If you guys don't know already, I'm joined by best-selling author Manswell T. Peterson. He's an author of pretty much anything you probably like to read. We're going to talk to him not only about the writing journey, but as you guys are going into summer, especially for those of you who have kids, we have the perfect children's books for you, featuring these characters that you see here, Braylon and friends. We're going to talk to Manswell about that and let you guys know, of course, so you can stay connected with him. Now, if you're looking either on this side or down below, you'll see there is a follow button on the Amazon side. Make sure you guys hit that follow button so you can stay connected with our broadcast, especially as we're gearing up for Prime Day. And also, you'll see Manswell's books there as well. We'll be highlighting them as we're going throughout our broadcast. But Manswell, welcome back to the show.
Hey, man, thank you for having me, Cyrus. I appreciate it.
Well, look, glad to do it. I really don't know where to start, Manswell, when it comes to the carousel. So on the Amazon side, you guys will see there's a little bit of everything. But let's go ahead and start. I'm going to go ahead and highlight the book that's free right now, Manswell. And that is
Okay.
Princess of Wolves. The Kindle edition is free, which is a great way for us to kind of start with talking about Lacrotum. I want to talk about this journey for you, Manswell. What has it been like for you to have created these worlds and to see the way the readers are responding to it?
It's been crazy because that world is 11 books deep. And as you know, most people, they don't like writing long series or, but readers love them. I tell you that, like, some readers love them. Some readers like, I hate long series, but then you get caught in the Crotum and boy, you're stuck. And so we call it the rabbit hole, and it's been an amazing journey. People are still looking forward to what am I going to do. And of course, I get all the people who are guessing about which character goes next, which character comes out, who am I going to unveil next. And I keep telling everybody, I still have about 175 new characters in that universe that I have not unveiled yet. So it's a magical journey. It's fun. We're going to continue it. As long as they keep loving it, I'll keep writing it, man. So it's fun.
So before we get too far from the Crotum, I want to kind of talk about this world then, because like you mentioned, there's a lot of characters in this world. How did Lacrotum first start, Manswell?
The Crotum first started because I wanted to see something from the paranormal sci-fi side where all of the factions are together. I didn't want just vampires and werewolves. I wanted witches, warlocks, fays, vampires, werewolves. I wanted the whole thing. And so what I had to go back from page one. And when I started with Diamond, who's the first book, she's a princess, but she's in the wolf faction. But I decided to do a twist with it. I wanted to make it modern. Instead of going back to the 1700s or 1800s or 1400s, I wanted to have a more modern twist to it. And so that's what readers are really engaged to, because literally you have all these paranormal characters and they're all living in a modern world. And it's wild and it's crazy.
Yeah. And so for yourself, do you find yourself writing what you yourself love to read then?
Yes. And that's what keeps it fun. I tell everybody, I think there's a quote that says, a good writer writes what they know, a great writer writes what they feel. And so, I love to write what I feel. I want to see that right there. And I wrote it for TV. And most people, they look at me like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, that was the whole point of writing it, so I could actually see it on TV one day. Books 1 through 4, that's season 1 for TV. Books 5 through 8, that's season 2. So my whole thing was to write it so people can have the same thing I wanted. And then you find out that it's crazy. It is crazy how much they love it all at the same time. So it's cool.
Earl says you should create a new character, the Earl of Wolves. I think what he's trying to say is the Applenator. I think is what he's probably referring to.
Right, the Applenator. Yeah, that would be one. Look, and make sure the shoulder have a bite in it.
So with that being said, I mean, you were talking about the readers, and I've seen even on social media, Manswell, how you have readers who, when you announce about a new book, which seems to be like every other day, you'll have a reader say, it's about time, or I can't wait, or have to catch up. What that engagement you have with your readers is really a lot of fun to watch. What has that been like for you to experience?
It's fun because literally they're waiting no more than 35, 40 days. And if they wait that long. Mm-hmm. And so, but you can see the ones who really are there, they're all caught up. Like they're waiting for Charmcasters. They're waiting for the new Academy book. They're waiting for the new Universe book. And I'm sitting here like, I just gave you a book like 28 days ago. And so that's the beauty of them knowing that I'm not going to make them wait. And so they sit there and they'll come in. The moment I put up a new cover, I have a cover reveal. They're all going crazy trying to guess, everything from the cover because each cover has Easter eggs on it, and that's my thing to give out little hints on the covers. And so they spend about a week or two just dissecting the covers. And it's fun for me. It's fun for them because I have yet to find a cover that they picked out every single Easter egg. So it's fun because they don't do it all the time.
Yeah. So you said something interesting, and you and I knew this from a previous conversation we haven't had on the show, but you just mentioned it on the show, so that makes it fair game for us to talk about here. I mean, you already have envisioned this as a TV series, you said. So does that make it easier for you to keep writing at the pace that you are? And I bring that up for this reason, Manswell, because there are a lot of authors, as you know, may release 1 or 2 books a year. That may be the thing. To release the amount of books that you release is not a normal occurrence. So, but because you have the goal of television, does that make it easier for you to be able to write at that pace?
It makes it easier, but again, it goes back to being fun. And that's the whole difference. When I get approached from people and they're like, we might be interested. Do you mind if we look at your Bible? Sure. And what people who don't understand what that means is when they talk about the Bible, they're talking about the whole background of the world. And you're looking into my brain. And the first thing they do is go, whoa, 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 whoa. That's because there's so much in the book, but then there's little nuggets that I held out for the TV series. And so they're like, we see where you're going to put this at. And I'm like, exactly. So even though you read the books, when you watch the TV show, you're going to get hit with still some more surprises. And that is what, is driving it on the industry side right now, because now they're realizing it's just not the books. We got to look at the books and look at the Bible that he has wrote for this thing, because there are so many little nuggets in there he's throwing. There are other characters who won't come out until the TV show. And so that's the fun thing. But for me, whether it was just going to be pure books or, books and TV, it's fun. That's the whole key word. If it's not fun, then you wouldn't be getting as much from it.
Yeah, got it. So I want to talk about the other side of this then, because we're just talking about Lacrotum so far. But if our audience looks at the carousel, I'm going to go ahead and highlight something else here, Manswell. There are other books you've been able to write as well, including the Billionaire Baby series. So I have a couple of them actually here with me here in the studio. So talk about that. So how do you go from creating this world of paranormal to writing about baby daddies?
Well, because what happened, look, what had happened was, Billionaire Babies came out because of a challenge. Mm-hmm. I had an author tell me, well, you can't come in my genre. And I'm like, what's the genre? It's the billionaire genre. And I'm like, yes, I can. All I got to do is research it. If I research it good enough, I'll come up with, 3 fascinating stories. And so we have two networks that are interested in those 3 books now, because, again, I wrote them for the female fan base. And so now they're looking at, hey, we might be able to flip these to a, 2-part series or 3-part series. And it all came about a challenge. If you challenge me and say, I can't write in your genre, then guess what? I just might come in there. And I might drop some books just to show you, if I study and research it, anything's possible. Same thing with school. If you study and research enough, you'll pass that test. And so that's where those came from. Of course, people ask me, are we going to get any more in the future? Maybe. I got some ideas, but right now, between the Croton Universe, the Croton Academy, and now Charmcasting Academy, it's kind of cut up. But then also you got Braden the Bear out there, so it's like it's literally 4 active series going at one time.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Earl is asking when I talked about the carousel, Manswell, if I'm highlighting the carousel on the app, I'm highlighting it on Amazon. Earl, on Amazon. That's where it is over. So like when I touch it on Amazon, they'll see it highlighted, featured right there. So that's what I'm doing. I don't know what he's trying to say there, Manswell.
Yeah, I know what he's saying. Look, he wants me to turn me into a hybrid. That's what he wants me to do. So I'll turn him into a hybrid so he can have a small role in the TV series. And, I'll make sure it's a DJ with a camera and mic set up for him. And
there you go. There you go. Look, that should be fascinating. That should be. I can't wait. Look, that's Dave, look, I want to say for those who are just tuning in, though, welcome. Y'all are watching us here on Amazon Live. We also are simulcasting on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. We're talking to best-selling author Manswell T. Peterson today. We're talking to him about the different worlds he's been able to create. So appreciate you guys being with us on the Amazon side, but also those tuning in on other platforms as well. You'll notice the carousel is full of the books like we have here with Manswell. He was just talking about, of course, the Billionaire Baby series. You can see I have them here with me, but he just mentioned Braylon the Bear and Friends, and I have them here with me as well. So we're going to go ahead and talk about that in this next segment here, Manswell. So you've been writing for adults. How did the children's book start?
The children's book started. My wife wanted to do a children's series, and she wanted to base it on our youngest son, Braylon. Very sweet, compassionate kid. You meet him, you'll fall in love with him. And so that was the thing behind all the Brave and the Bear books. And I told her, I said, if you're gonna write with me, you need to be on point because I don't have time to sit back and waste all these days. And so literally she went through my boot camp, and so she survived, as you can see, because it's 5 books there. But that was the whole point, to give the kids something new, fascinating, but give them new cartoon characters that they can fall in love with. And again, wrote it for TV. You have the books, but I wrote it for TV as well. And that's the most important thing for you to understand. The life lessons in Brave and the Bear and Friends are wonderful for kids, and parents are loving. They are loving it, loving it, loving it. And I'm excited that the parents are actually loving
Yeah. I'm excited this summer to be sharing them as well, Manswell. And I think that the cool thing is, I have them here. Of course, there's Braylon the Bear and Friends, Forever Friends. I'm going to highlight it there in the carousel for our audience. You guys can get it there. Also, let's see what's the next one here in the carousel. Braylon the Bear and Friends. Let's see. Snow Fight. That's the next one. Have mine right here. Have it featured in the carousel. I'm highlighting it for you guys over there. And then we have, let's see, Braylon the Bear and Friends. Braylon Finds a Way.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You guys can see that one. I have it here. And then we have this one with Chrissy and Calvin. Now, I have to say, Chrissy and Calvin is probably one of my favorite ones.
Yes.
As well. So I want to talk a little bit about that. But caring is sharing. So I want to talk about this because I think the fact that, hello to you, Melissa, good to be able to see you on the Facebook side. What I love about Chrissy and Calvin, this is a great book for adults too, because, a lot of times we have to learn too, the shoe doesn't feel so good on the other foot. And that's exactly what Chrissy is able to realize. So let's talk about the lessons in these. Yes, they're entertaining, as well, but how important was it for your wife and you to make sure that they did teach some lessons as well?
It was 1,000%, because again, even with little kids, you have to show them entertainment, but you have to give them lessons. And so finding out about sharing your time, about caring about those that are around you are so vital, because a lot of times we can get wrapped up in the real world and we tend to forget about the other part of our real world, which is family, which is, your younger brother, sister, which is your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, even the cousins or friends. We got friends who are actually like family to us. And so you see that relate over to where, that person wants to spend time with you. That person calls, because think about this. How many times have people called you and you're like, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy. And what happens is then when you try to call them back, it could be too late. It could wind up being too late. And so you don't want that to happen. You want to be able to just share, have fun with everybody. I know we're all busy, but that's the essence of sharing is caring. Share, that time, share little bitty things, little nuggets in life. It's amazing.
And there's another great lesson too about the generations coming together too. We see that in Caring and Sharing with Chrissy and Calvin. What has that been like for you to show young people it's okay to listen to adults, to listen to older people like grandparents, but also seniors that may be in their community that are kind of part of their village? What was that like for you to show?
Believe it or not, that comes out and it goes both ways. But you think about how much knowledge and wisdom that the seniors have in our communities. And you sit there and you listen to them, you can soak up so much. And it's amazing. And then on the flip side, like Braylon's 11, but then he'll come show me some stuff on technology. And I'm like, wow, how did you find that? And he's like, oh, I just went here, here, here. I said, slow down for your old man. I slow down. And then he said, okay, well, you go here, you do this. And so it's a two-way street, but it's just fun because you get to learn from both sides. And so that makes it more interesting. But the wisdom that you get from the older generation is powerful. It's
Right.
powerful. And we've tended to, in this world we live in now, we tended to move away from that, and I'm trying to move everybody back. Just like with family time, that's the whole purpose of writing most of this stuff. You get family time reading. Now you got families talking. You got families spending time in the same room, and nobody's on four different devices in separate parts of the house. Now they're all together, and that is the biggest compliment that we get about bringing the Bear and Friends. And so it's fun. It's fun to know that we're bringing families back together reading.
Love that. So let's talk about community once again. I mentioned social media earlier, Manswell. We're going to let our audience know how to stay connected with you. Would you be able to have the career that you have today without social media?
Yeah, because believe it or not, back in the day when I literally started, this is a funny story. I think I told you and Earl about this one. I was selling books out the back of my trunk in DeKalb, Georgia, in Atlanta area. And what I would do is, when women go to the beauty salon, they're gonna be there 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. And so I would literally load up boxes of books, and I would try to hit as many salons as I could, going inside, ladies, I got books, I got books, I got books. And then, my oldest son at the time, then he would actually help me sell books.
Wow.
And so literally, they're not going to turn little kids down. And so then you find out I got readers still today from those days. And so let's say social media got wiped out completely. Guess what? Those beauty salons are still there.
Mm.
And when you got to sit there 6, 7, 8 hours, $10 book is nothing compared to being not being bored, because you're sitting there. They got that thing on their head and it's blowing that hot air. They can't hear the TV, but they can read a book. And
Yeah.
so that's where I started from. So I'll never forget that part. But I can always go back. If social media went away, I can always go back to the beauty salons, because every week, every week they're gonna be there. They're gonna be there.
Another thing that you've been doing lately, more so, I've noticed, Manswell, sharing little nuggets of inspiration and motivation on social. But you also, of course, are very encouraging of other authors. Why has that been so
Mhm.
important for you, to not just take out time for your readers, but also take out time for those who are in the same industry as you?
Because I want them to learn the lessons that I learned, and try not to make as many mistakes as I made. And they're like, but you're still here. I got lucky. A lot of times you make mistakes, they'll write you off.
Mhm.
And so I try to give them the advice of what not to do, how not to do stuff. And I'm like, trust me, don't do this. It cost me $900. Don't do this. It cost me 1,500. And so they look at it and they're like, you're trying to shut me down. No, I'm trying to give you advice. Like, I talked to one young lady, she's just now starting out, and somebody close to her told her, sell your ebook for $40. And I'm sitting there like, that's a horrible mistake, because you might have 3 or 4 sales within your inner circle, but the people that don't know you, that haven't established a bond with you yet, are they willing to put $40 down on an ebook that they don't know anything about? I said,
Right.
don't look at the overall picture of money. The money will come. Build a relationship with the readers. I'm like, this is your first book, so give away 2 or 3 copies. Talk to the readers, get to know the readers. Ask other authors, can they help you spark your fan base? Because the one thing about readers is they're always going to be reading. I got my readers reading somebody else right now.
Mm.
That other author, when they drop their book, somebody's gonna come read my stuff. You can actually help each other without hurting each other, and that's the biggest thing. There are books out there, and readers are gonna read. The ones who read daily, they'll never get enough books. They'll never get enough books, and that's why I always tell them, I don't mind shouting you out. I don't mind posting your book on, my fan page or on my regular page, or tell my readers about you. But never, this industry is so crazy where people want to say, I know my worth. Yeah, know your worth, but you got to know the market.
Mhm.
You have to know the market. Please don't go out there and try to price your ebook and your paperback book the same price. You're going to mess yourself up.
Mhm.
You're going to mess yourself up. James Patterson might be able to get away with that, but that's James Patterson. You're trying to build what he has. So do it smartly. And sometimes they take the advice, and and they take and they understand. And I see some go out there and they post it 29, 39, $49 for an ebook. And I'm like, you don't want to give them a paperback option? No, I want them to buy the hardback. Okay. And then they come back, they're like, I'm not selling. I wonder why. You got a
Yeah.
brand new book and you only got the hardback available. You don't even have an ebook available.
Yeah.
You can't expect new readers that are new to you to come and drop $39 on a hardback.
Yeah.
Give them the option of paperback. And as we know, Amazon did increase their prices. The little bit you might lose by not jumping your prices could be all the difference in the world.
Hmm.
And I was telling authors this, these are even experienced authors. And they're like, I got 5 years in the game. Well, I've been in this game since 2008. And trust me, if you try to hike your price up another dollar, that dollar could be the difference. Nobody buys your book.
Yeah. This is a great conversation. It's something Earl and I talk about quite a bit, and I think it's something that a lot of people do not think about because they're thinking about the quick money, what they think is the
Mhm.
fast money, but not thinking about the long term. Which is why it's great to have someone like you, Manswell, who's been around, who's been able to see things. Actually, I'd be able to share that information with them. And like I always say too, hey, some will take it, some will not. And I
Right.
think the important thing though is to make sure that they know, and then it's up to them what they decide to do. So again, as you can tell, Manswell is giving you guys a lot of options to be able to read for this summer. So make sure you guys take advantage of them. Again, we kicked off this segment talking about the Lacrotum universe. Of course, you can begin there. Now, before we let you go, Manswell, I have to let our audience know, because this is something, the children's books, you can read those. There's not a particular order. But why is it important for them, Lacrotum, to have Manswell to go all the way back to book one when it comes to the Lacrotum universe?
I want them to think about it as a TV series. Um, you have to start the first episode. You have to start with the pilot. And literally with Lacrotum and Lacrotum Academy, even Charmcast that's about to come out now, you have to start at book one because the story grows with each book. The story grows. And if you come in and say, well, I'm starting book three, you're missing 2 books worth of material. And it's not about trying to get them to buy whatever else. I'm trying to show you that this character will not be the same character you're going to see in book five. But if you miss it, you're gonna figure out, well, what happened with this? Because there are gonna be things they're gonna talk about, and you're gonna wonder, well, how did she go from there? How did he do this? Well, you missed it because you started at book four. I got a lady started at book eight, and I'm like, baby, you got 7 books of stuff you're missing. And she sent me an email. It was about 30 questions on there. And she's like, well, can I have the answers? I'm like, yes, they're in book 1 through 7. I'm just gonna be real with you. And she's like, so I got to go back and read. You have Kindle Unlimited. It's not going to cost you anything but more than your monthly subscription, but you really need to go back and read books 1 through 7. And like I said, she's done that now. And now she's under, now I got the big email with the, oh, yeah, now you get it. You don't start a TV series, even when you can binge watch it. You don't start at season 2 or 3 or 4. You have to start at season 1. And again, I wrote it for TV, so I'm telling people you have to start book one. So we put the number on the spine, we put the number on the cover, so you cannot mistake it. But when they do, trust me, they all get that same feeling like I missed something. I know
Yeah.
you did.
Yeah. Dr. Velma, hello to you, joining us on the West Coast. Dr. Velma, we've been speaking with best-selling author Manswell T. Peterson today. Well, you guys know each other already. You were
Yes,
featured in the same magazine together with Viola
yes.
Davis, so you guys already know each
That's,
already know each
that,
other.
that's Dr.
But
B.
but glad to be able to have all of you with us again. Everyone, make sure you guys pick up the books from Manswell. Again, you have the books for adults, also the books for children. You guys can be able to get right here on Amazon. We have them in the carousel here, either in this corner or down below. So make sure you guys click through to be able to see what you want to be able to add to your reading list and tell your friends about. And Manswell, how can they stay connected with you, man?
They can find me basically on all social media fronts, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Manswell T. Peterson. If you look up my name, trust me, you'll find me. Um, the coolest thing about what I do with my readers, um, you send me a message after you've read, and you say, I want to talk to you about this. And I'll tell them, okay, drop a phone number and I'll call you because I have a dedicated phone line for readers.
Mm,
And so we call them therapy sessions. We get them, we talk about the characters and whatever the books, and readers are really starting to love this. And so we give about 2 hours a week to this.
mm,
And so I get one of my other people who are my reading team, and so we get on the phone with them and we do a 3-way call, and they
oh, cool.
love the fact that they get a chance to really get deeper into the characters because it's one thing to read the story, it's nothing to talk to the person who read the book before everybody else did, and the author, because how many authors are actually on the phone talking to readers?
Mm,
You won't
gotcha.
find that many.
All right, so make sure you guys are staying connected with Manswell. As he mentioned, you can find him all over social media. Manswell, another great chat with you, man. Glad to have you back on with us.
All right. Appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
Hey, glad to do it, man. And we thank your audience for tuning in. It's another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents here on Amazon Live. Again, if you guys are joining us on the Amazon Live side, make sure you guys hit that follow button either here in this corner or down below. Also, of course, as I mentioned, the books by Manswell are around us as well. So you should make sure you guys add those to your cart. And don't forget to check out so you can have them ready for your summer reading list. Until next time, I'm Cyrus Webb saying thank you all so much for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.